Comes to lactose intolerance people, I think a lot of brands, especially these days, they don't. I think a lot of to judge whether it's, protein is really isolate. You can see regarding your bubble movements, right?
Yeah.
How your bubble moves after you consume the protein.
Definitely.
So I think a lot of brands these days don't genuinely sell 100% isolate proteins. They always mixed as with concentrate and all that stuff. So people who are lactose intolerant unfortunately face bubble movements and whatnot. So I think it's really important when you're having when you're lactose intolerant to go for 100% whey isolate and just to check it out and make.
Supplement, because especially in Sri Lanka, we know that we don't eat enough proteins.
Yeah.
Anywhere we go, we buy a like if you go to another country in Europe or somewhere, obviously you order something, your rice portion will be very small and your protein
Portion will be very big.
very big.
Yeah.
So in Sri Lanka, it's the other way. We always get a bit much of big rice with one probably 50 to 50 grams of chicken.
True.
So getting protein in Sri Lanka, the resources are very low. And when you're buying protein, it's very expensive. You know that.
Correct. Yeah.
Recently, the eggs went up to 50 rupees.
Yeah.
So I think, especially as Sri Lankans, taking a dietary supplement, or especially a protein, even for general. So if you are going on a high intense workout, if you are working, if you are sleepy,
Yep.
so and other thing we have to be very careful with the pre-workouts are most of the supplements brand, they don't mention the ingredients. So we have beta-alanine, we have green tea,
L-citrulline.
and at the end they will put up a blend.
Yes,
they
correct.
won't give you the exact details, but Ignite we have given out all the ingredients that we are having. So except from green tea, beta-alanine, caffeine, definitely there will be something. If you get some crazy pre-workout, I don't want to mention the names of the brands, they will definitely put a saying blend because they don't give out their ingredients. So, and we have to be very careful with doping control. If you're an athlete, you have to go through the doping. If you go through doping test, you have to be very careful that.
It's on the deadlift, right?
That's 322 kilos. So
Wow.
deadlift is my pet event. Like I have the Asian record under my name.
Okay.
But I'm a pretty bad bencher because I used to be a weightlifter at the Commonwealth Games in 2006. I tore my
Okay.
bicep. So my bench is pretty weak.
Okay.
So
But even after that, you can lift 300.
yeah, because my squat is like a good squat. Then when I go to the perfect competition, I get that disadvantage on the bench. So I have to catch it back on the deadlifts.
Okay.
So that's one reason my deadlift got improved as well.
Okay.
So
Nice. Hi, Ransilu. Welcome to Fit Talks powered by Nutri-Max. It's great having you here. We just want to know your journey, how you got here, like how you are here right now, because you've been a great inspiration to us in the whole fitness community in Sri Lanka and even the world. Like, we have been so inspired by you, and we would love to know your journey. Yes, please go ahead.
yeah, thanks for inviting me.
No worries.
So yeah, it's been quite a long journey. I started with training at the age of 7. Where people are saying, they had a lot of myths saying doing weight training make you shorter, it will affect your growth. So my dad was my coach, and he was a former powerlifter and weightlifter as well, and he was a bodybuilder as well. So that's the inspiration I got. So we were taking a lot of challenges. So even my relatives, all my dad's friends, they all are coming at me saying that your kid's not gonna get taller, he will have a growth effects and all. And our very first gym down in Kandy was in 1996. And before that, we used to train in a place called YMCA, Kandy YMCA. That's where all the strong guys were coming from Kandy.
Okay.
So that's how it started at the age of 7. As per to my mother, after soon as my dad comes home, I used to carry a broomstick and wearing his belts and shoes. That's how it started. My competition was first competition at the age of 7, where I became third. Then after that, I had quite a long journey, became going down to 15 plates, 16 plates. There was a time that I was fed up of lifting as well because I was really small. And there were a lot of critics coming towards me and started balancing my studies with the sport.
Correct.
So I think now we have a great culture for fitness. So back in the day when I was in Kandy, I can remember some aunties are coming wearing the saris and shoes to the gym. So from that culture to here, I think Sri Lanka has come up a long way. And talking about my highlights, I have been representing Sri Lanka for 22 years now. So I have Asian record in deadlift, and I was a weightlifter as well. So I was the national champion for 11 years, and powerlifting 22 years, unbeaten champion, 6 times Asian champion,
Wow.
3 times Commonwealth, 2 times Asia Pacific, goes on.
Nice. That's really nice to hear. I think you've honestly been like one of the biggest inspiration to all of us in terms of powerlifting and in terms of health and wellness in general. So, what do you believe in a particular mantra? What's the mantra you believe in? You must be having something to keep you going every day, right?
Uh, well, yeah, I think it's the passion that you have to keep going. Like everyone is asking, it's your time is high right now. You are getting closer to your 40s. So I had to mention my age as well. So you're getting closer. So when you're planning to stop this, so for now, the very first day I touched the bar, I have the same passion towards now. Like it's always been a very tough day for me. I'm running with the rugby team, so my day starts around 5 in the morning, working with them, managing the households. So being a powerlifter in Sri Lanka, you never get paid for that.
Correct. Yeah.
I always spend my own money for tours, so it's a tough job. So I managed to keep on because of my passion. So on the day I lose this passion, that's the day that I will
Nice. Yeah.
stop this game. So I'm always saying to all young athletes, whoever, if you are passionate, you don't need an alarm. Like
Nice.
no one has to push you. So sometimes I finish my training at 1 in the morning, 12 in the morning. I know that next day gonna be really tough for me, but you have to live in the moment. You have to push yourself, and hard work, always hard work, and discipline. Yeah, you need discipline as well. But we are not pro athletes. We don't get paid. We can't be professional. Like when I go abroad for competitions, they have 3, 4 coaches, managers, masseurs, and sometimes they don't even eat food from the hotel. They bring their chefs as well. They're very professional guys. So we just go there. Sometimes I'm all alone at the competitions. But yeah, when you're passionate, you will push that. Like no point of if someone is pushing you, if your dad is pushing you, if your mother is pushing for you, like it's not gonna work for you.
Yeah, regardless of your circumstance, you somehow made it, and that's like really nice to see. And so basically, like what I would like to discuss with you today is a lot of people who buy supplements and all have a lot of misconceptions, and they want to know a lot about. They don't necessarily know a lot about supplements, especially in Sri Lanka, and people do have a lot of questions when it comes to supplements, right? So, for example, when we take whey protein isolate, people do ask us, Nutri-Max, they do ask us, if I take a whey protein isolate for 2 weeks or a month, would I see any would I see any results? Like, can I see a result of it, of the protein? Can I see a result in my body? Just taking the powder for 2 weeks or 1 month. What do you think about that? And how long does it take to genuinely see some results using whey protein isolate?
Well, in general, my opinion is I'm coming from a background where they started supplements very beginning of the 1990s. So everyone was saying it's not good to take. This is gonna cause that. This is like a steroid. Don't take that. So my opinion about supplement is something extra. First thing is you have to have your meals. So
Correct.
if you are taking supplements, if you are not eating properly, it's not going to help you out.
Not gonna
That's for
help
sure.
Sure.
So your meals are number one. So whoever goes to the gym very first, they shouldn't buy a whey protein. So there's a gradual time that you have to go for training and you have to work on your max. Then there will be time that you have to buy a protein. So for me, like recently I went to the Arnold Sports Festival last year. So I was listening to Arnold. So basically what his supplement does is like we'll say vitamin C. So vitamin C, if you take a vitamin C tablet, it's going to be 500 mgs.
Correct.
So if you're going to take it from a raw food, like we'll say we are probably orange will have 5 to 10 grams of vitamin C. So
Correct.
if you want to have 500 milligrams of vitamin C, you have to eat like 100 oranges.
Yeah.
So that's the basic thing. They made basic idea of having supplements. Now it has gone to a different level. They are enhancing all the performances. So same like that, even protein. We say that we're going to eat beef, so we can't eat like 10 kgs of beef. So a bodybuilder who wants to build muscle, he can eat up to a certain level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a basic theory, basic need that they made supplements because of that. So that's the key role and the general role of supplements. But we have misguided most of, especially with all the marketing guys. They have misguided the young generation.
Yeah.
And sometimes the gym trainers are also involved with this.
Yeah.
So my opinion is always number one is your meals, number two is your supplement. So when you're talking about whey protein isolate, I think number one question is lactose tolerance. One is that. Then we basically went to whey protein and isolate protein and hydroprotein.
Yeah,
So
hydrolyzed.
those are the three types of stuff. And most of the guys are taking proteins. They don't know what's the source of protein. Basically, it's always milk based. Some guys are always having lactose tolerance, and sometimes they are taking whey protein with milk, and they are still coming and saying that I have this problem, I have that problem. So there are a few remedies that I can tell you. So normally, if you have a lactose tolerance program, you can use probiotics. So you can try the first time. Uh, then if it's still something, I think you have switched on to another protein. Until that, you can sometimes. So there are a few guys that I know that I personally have experience taking a probiotic always helps,
Yeah,
like 90%
true.
night of the time, because this tolerance is always made by enzymes that is like
True.
that digestive system.
Yeah.
So that's the key point.
I think when it comes to lactose intolerance people, I think a lot of brands, especially these days, they don't. I think a lot of to judge whether it's, protein is really isolate. You can see regarding your bubble movements, right?
Yeah.
How your bubble moves after you consume the protein.
Definitely.
So I think a lot of brands these days don't genuinely sell 100% isolate proteins. They always mixed as with concentrate and all that stuff. So people who are lactose intolerant unfortunately face bubble movements and whatnot. So I think it's really important when you're lactose intolerant to go for 100% whey isolate and just to check it out and make sure it is 100% whey isolate.
Definitely.
That's very important. And when it comes to, so like I mentioned before, when it comes to seeing results from whey protein, seeing the result you want, how long do you think a person should be consuming whey protein isolate for? Like to see some sort of result or some sort of change?
It depends on your personal goals. I think like normally the general goal, we all know that they say 1 kg of your body mass, so
Correct.
body weight, you need 2.2 grams of protein. That's the normal calculation. So if you put it onto a professional bodybuilder, they will actually laugh on that because
Yeah.
they used to take very high dose of protein. So I think if you're a general athlete, it always helps you on recovery process. It will help you on ATP process,
Yeah.
adenosine triphosphate systems. So I think to see a result, I think minimum you need to take for like good 2 months probably.
Okay.
And main thing is, and the general other question people ask is, do I gain weight? So one of the main misconceptions like
Very
happening,
true.
yeah. So they mess up mass gainers and whey protein. Mass gainers always contain a lot of carbs, sugar, and also I think obviously it's going to be a bit of fat as well.
Yeah.
So
True.
I think whey protein, general whey protein contains 30 to 40% of whey, but isolate from that to 90 to 96% they have the whey protein isolation.
Correct.
So, but it's uh, pretty much expensive when you compare to whey protein if you are getting the perfect isolation proteins.
Correct.
So as you said, most of the products we have it's mix of whey protein and isolate. Pure isolate will be very expensive as well.
Correct. So, since you coach and since you train, since you coach also rugby teams, when do you use a mass gainer and when do you use a whey protein isolate? How do you cycle between the two supplements when you're training and for especially for competitions?
When you're coaching rugby teams, the first question they ask is it good to take? The parents will come to you, is it good to take proteins? So we all know that we run on a high intense workout.
Okay.
We have muscle breakdown supplement. So when the muscle breaks, we call it the catabolism. If the catabolism is not properly replaced with the proper nutrition, obviously you're going to lose muscles. It's going to cause you injuries. So what I say is eat your food. But if
Yeah.
you're going for a very high intense workout or rugby, supplements are a must. Like if you're in a professional sport, supplement, because especially in Sri Lanka, we know that we don't eat enough proteins.
Yeah.
Anywhere we go, we buy like if you go to another country in Europe or somewhere, obviously you order something, your rice portion will be very small and your protein
Portion will be very big.
very big.
Yeah.
So in Sri Lanka, it's the other way. We always get much of big rice with probably 50 to 50 grams of
Yeah.
chicken.
True.
So getting protein in Sri Lanka, the resources are very low. And when you're buying protein, it's very expensive. You know that.
Correct. Yeah.
Recently, the eggs went up to 50 rupees.
Yeah.
So I think, especially as Sri Lankans, taking a dietary supplement, or especially a protein, even for general fitness followers, I think it's a must. So when I get the rugby players, we always go for weight in the off season. So it's like making a balloon with gas and
Correct.
when push them for the in season. So when I make the periodization plan from always, there are some guys always they want to cut weight, but still they want to gain muscle mass as well. It's obviously fat they are carrying, so it depends on variety to position to position.
Correct.
So I think off season we recommend this mass gainers.
Okay.
Then we come up to creatine, and maintaining guys go for isolation proteins.
Okay.
Like it depends on when they want to peak for their competition and how their off season program goes as.
Okay, so off season y'all will ideally take a mass gainer, and on season when the season competition nears, y'all will go for an isolate.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is, you have to speak about micros as well, micronutrients. So especially if you're taking a protein, if it's coming up with probiotic, it's really going to help you out with the digestion system. And if you're taking a creatine, sometimes they add bit of potassium and magnesium, so they can reduce they can improve the micronutrients and reduce muscle cramping, such as side effects like that.
Okay, understood. Okay, when we go for the next supplement, which I want to discuss with, is the pre-workout. A lot of people are very concerned about pre-workouts, and because of the high caffeine level and the other elements in it, right? So, and also a lot of people have this problem where when they take a strong pre-workout, they get a bad crash.
Yeah.
Why do you think that crash is, and how can you avoid that crash?
Well, I think talking about pre-workouts, I always say creatine and whey protein you all can always find in your body. So 90% of the proteins and you can find off your body, except for the essential amino acids, except for the other amino acids, everything. But pre-workout is something that your body doesn't need. Like it's an artificial thing, and you're going to pump up your body. So if you're going on a high intense workout, if you're working, if you're sleepy.
Yep.
So, and other thing we have to be very careful with the pre-workouts are most of the supplements brand, they don't mention the ingredients. So we have beta-alanine, we have green tea, and at the end they will put up a blend.
Yes,
they won't give you the exact details. But Ignite, we have given out all the ingredients that we are having. So except from green tea, beta-alanine, caffeine, definitely there will be something. If you get some crazy pre-workout, I don't want to mention the names of the brands, they will definitely put a saying blend, because they don't give out their ingredients. So, and we have to be very careful with doping control. If you're an athlete, you have to go through the doping. If you go through doping tests, you have to be very careful that. So, one thing, pre-workout crash. First one is overdosing the pre-workout.
Okay.
Like then overdose caused because of, like we say, you are coming to the gym. Before a coffee, we say you go to the coffee shop and I have coffee, and you're going to start taking the pre-workout as well.
True.
So if you're definitely going to run. So my opinion is, if you're going for a pre-workout, you have to avoid caffeine and sweets 12 hours before. So before a rugby game, if you are giving the pre-workout, or if you are a powerlifter, you are taking the pre-workout, we avoid caffeine, tea, everything 2 days before.
Okay.
So if you take if you take a coffee, if you have a tea, if you have a sweet before the training, and if you're going to take pre-workout doesn't going to. So what we do is add another scoop and take out, this doesn't work. Again, we had these of the 3-4 scoops. Yeah. So, and the other thing is pre-workout, you have to have an off cycle as well on pre-workouts.
Yes,
so it's
correct. Very true.
It's very addictive. So there are people, including myself, it's very hard to keep away the pre-workout, because I'm coming to the gym after a very hard day. So sometimes I have to go for like 2 pre-workout scoop. But in general, I think cutting down the pre-workout dosage will help you out, definitely. So my trick is, I go sometimes in the off season, I go for like half a scoop. There are days that I train without pre-workout as well. But pre-workout, one thing that you're really careful of, because of blends, unless it's if you don't know the ingredients, don't take it if you're a professional athlete.
Correct. So when it comes to so basically the crash, to avoid the crash, I said that you can't take sweets and coffee for the 3 hours before you train, right? So I think that will most likely fix the problem, right? And so when it comes to pre-workouts also, is it bad for you in terms of kidneys, heart failure? Like, people are worried about heart failure, people are worried about all that. Like, obviously, like, how much worse can it get? What do you think about that? Like, the pre-workout,
it can get really worse. There are pre-workouts that I have personally experienced when I was aboard. It has more than 400 to 500 grams of caffeine.
Okay.
So
we sell 200 milligrams of caffeine. So I think we are on the lower side.
What I love about Ignite is it contains a lot of beta-alanine. So you get that tingling feeling that you feels like spiders are running on your body. Like, it's the feeling that you want to
Correct,
get. Like you
correct,
get
yeah,
really
yeah.
hyped up, and you
Your
know that
focus and your pump increases.
you are pumping and you are focused, and you know when to go. Like you are sitting and waiting after pre-workout. You know when to go. That you get that tingling feeling. You get the hype. Then
Yeah.
you want to go. So. Other problem with the pre-workout is the caffeine. So most of the guys who trains in the evening always come and complains me saying that okay, took the pre-workout. I was sleeping around 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. So
Yeah.
that's one other complaint. So Ignite, I think if you take it properly, the half a scoop will be here. So that's going to be 100 milligrams of caffeine,
Correct,
which is
yeah.
very similar to espresso.
It's
or
good
something.
enough.
But still, you get that high because of the ingredients.
The beta alanine.
When you introduced me the pre-workout, I just took the sample and I was all good, and I was giving you reviews about it because I could sleep in the night. Like that's one thing that you don't want to miss your sleep.
That's
and
one biggest
next day-
problem people face.
Lot
It's
of
very.
people.
It's gonna really affect your life.
Yeah, it's
otherwise.
if you don't have deep sleep, whatever the sleep, like you say that you can sleep for 3 hours, but you don't get the deep sleep. You can recover your muscles with massage. You can do the pool. You can do ice bath. Your massage, your body muscles will get recovered, but your central nervous system will be not recovered. So when your central nervous system is not recovered, you are very uneasy in the next day. You get high blood. You get angry. You feel always sleepy.
Yeah,
so
true.
you have to have a good sleep for anything you have to have at least minimum good sleep as in not 8 hours, at least proper 4 to 5 hours of deep sleep. So
Correct.
that's where all your hormones work, where central nervous system is recording. So I think taking a pre-workout, it's a 50-50 game. So I think if you have a proper product, yeah, go for it.
Like I think like you said, like the off cycling of the pre-workout is very important for you to see the efficacy of the pre-workout. Otherwise, you sometimes don't see how effective it can
It's
get.
very addictive. Not like the other supplements like whey protein. We can go without whey protein. You won't feel a thing. But there are people who can't without pre-workout. They can't train at all.
Yeah.
So that's very addictive.
So before we get to creating the final part, I wanted to ask you, like like your achievements, as in your PR is for bench, deadlifting, and all that. What was your highest PR? I can't seem to remember because you went for a competition recently and you hit, I think 320 kilos on the deadlift, right?
That's 322 kilos. So
Wow.
deadlift is my pet event. Like I have the Asian record under my name.
Okay.
But I'm a pretty bad bencher because I used to be a weightlifter at the Commonwealth Games in 2006. I tore my
Okay.
bicep. So my bench is pretty weak.
Okay.
So
But even after that, you can lift 322.5.
yeah, because my squat is like a good squat. Then when I go to the perfect competition, I get that disadvantage on the bench. So I have to catch it back on the deadlifts. So
Okay.
that's one reason my deadlift got improved as well.
Okay,
So,
nice.
yeah,
But that's
my-
crazy. I mean, like
Yeah.
322.5, I think that's
Yeah, that's
the record, right?
That's the highest deadlift in South Asia. In Asia, I had the Asian
Wow.
record, but had the 120 plus category guy is deadlifting 340 now. So they are all are pros, like they are fully paid athletes.
wow. Sri Lanka is definitely proud of you, and like
Thanks, man.
yeah. So when we come to creatine, people, I know it's the most researched supplement, but people do worry about the water retention, and they look bloated and stuff. Is that really true? Do you think does it actually make you bloat, creatine monohydrate?
Yeah, you know that creatine is one of the main supplement for strength. Like
Correct. Yeah.
it doesn't get old, right?
Yeah, it doesn't
Creatine
get
was there in 1990s, still it's there, still people are using it. So one thing, it goes as this. The theory goes as this. So when you take creatine, your muscles get bigger. So like it's like a pool. Like you take a swimming
Yeah.
pool, so your pool is getting bigger.
True,
If
true.
the water is not there, it won't get filled. So when your muscles get bigger, obviously it's gonna because 73 of percentage of your muscles are water. So obviously when the muscles are getting, it's gonna have a bit of water retention, but it's not gonna be very permanent.
Yeah, and it's
So
not going to
when
give you
it
that
shrink,
bloating.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Permanent bloating effect is
No,
not there.
it's not there. But you can't say that there's no water retention. The water retention is there, but there are ways that you can get rid of, especially the bodybuilders one. But most of the weightlifters, powerlifters, they don't care about that. Even the athletes, they don't care about the water retention. But this is especially for bodybuilders because they want the
Yeah, true.
vascular to be seen, their muscles should be dry. So most of them are using diuretics to get off the creatines, and they stop taking creatine because 2-3 weeks before the competition. So one thing, but water retention is there. But creatine, I would say, this one of the king of the ingredients of
King,
any
yeah.
sport.
It's the king.
and it's very cheap as well when you're compared with other.
It's the best supplement I think you can easily find.
Yeah. So there are a few side effects as well, but when those days when we are taking creatine, it was very rough. Like nowadays, you get micronized creatine,
Yeah.
and there are a mix of creatine. Creatine at least says there. So if you take some products, they give a they add bit of glucose, they add bit of BCAs, and they come with going to come up with product. But still, I think creatine monohydrate is the best
This is
product.
the best. Yes, correct. Yeah. So when it comes to issues such as kidney problems, people assume that kidney problems, hair loss problems. Do you think that's true? Like to what extent is that?
It varies from body type to body type, bro. So what, like, maybe I might have a high temperature on my body weight body, so you might have a
Yeah.
average body. So hair loss can be caused if your body temperature goes up, and like even the kidney,
Yeah.
it's how you take care of your body. It's like running a vehicle. Your body is like a vehicle, so you have to have the micronutrients. You have to take care of your liver. You have to take care if you're a professional athlete, I'm saying. So it's like when you're running a vehicle, you always pump fuel,
Correct. Yeah.
right? So you add bit of engine oil. You have to put the power oils. You have to check your brakes, like that. So obviously, it's like maintaining a vehicle. It's like maintaining your body. So these organs, which is inside, we can't see. See, I always tell my athletes, have a liver profile, do a kidney profile, check if you're a professional, if you're taking high doses of supplements, go for it.
Yeah. True.
So there are no direct evidence saying that this is
There
going to
is no
cause
direct,
that,
yeah.
but sometimes there can be issues depending on yourself. If you are coming of a heritage problem with a heritage kidney disease or a heritage liver problem, so there's a high risk of getting that.
All right. And when it comes to regarding creatine cycling, like, do you think we need to go off creatine for a while and then cycle and then get back onto it? Like, do you think that's beneficial for you?
Yeah, because creatine is one product that it's going to long last in your muscles. So when I'm doing my loading pace goes as 1 week, then the maintaining pace
Okay.
goes up to 4 to 6
Okay.
weeks, and the resting period goes as 2 to 4 weeks. So this is how I cycle. So because you take stop creatine yesterday, it's not gonna leave your body within another week or two. You still feel that strength, but it's
Yeah.
gradually tapering your body, because body is very intelligent rather than with us. So when it knows that the source that is coming from the outside,
Yeah.
so it stores more creatine to use in the future. Get it? So
True,
body is very intelligent. So that's why it's doing it. So the once you stop within 4 or 5 days, it will be stored in your body. So to get off a creatine cycle, I think it's 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. And finally, I wanted to get to counterfeit supplements and amino spiking. What is amino spiking, and how do people look out for that? Because amino spiking is a very big thing now, and it's very apparent in the supplement industry, and people do spend good money on buying whey protein isolates. And if there's only 15 grams or 12 grams of protein in the isolate, I mean, there's no point spending that much money, right? So what is amino spiking, and how do you not get caught to it?
Well, I think it's all about marketing, bro. So for me, I think if you go to one of the very famous site, I can say that it's bodybuilding.com. So that's the main. They are the ones who are dominating all the supplement market. They always had one protein. I don't want to mention the brand. So it's number one protein. You go, someone who doesn't know about supplements, you go and search what is the best protein. It will come up like which has only 24 grams. So these are the supplements, like, they are dominating the market for years. They are linked up with the coaches. They are linked up with the universities. So they always get approved from this university. Research being done. Your bench press will go up with 420 kilos within 3 weeks. So these are the marketing pencils. I would love to take that supplement if they say that, but still they're advertising that 20 kgs up within 3 weeks because of supplement.
Correct,
It's
yeah,
impossible. But these are the marketing tricks. That's always. But I always find there are new supplements which comes up with such as Nutri-Max. So it's very I think without a marketing plan, coming up with a supplement like this is very important, because the product is genuine. We know that it's going to help you out on your personal goals, whatever the personal, and how
Fitness
to take
goals,
that
yes.
fitness goals as well. And more than the brand, I think people be aware of the ingredients. So if you do research on ingredient one by one, you will get it what beta-alanine going to do, what L-arginine going to do, what L-carnitine is going to do to you. So what is whey protein going to do to you? So you go ingredient by ingredient, you will get it what you're going to. So personal research should be done before you purchasing a supplement. No point of view, a gym instructor will say this, that, because he's keeping a cut out of it. So definitely they will promote whatever, like, so if one product is giving $1,500, he will definitely promote that product. Next week he will say, this is a new one, you go for this. So it will give you $2,000 of cut, he will go for that. So I always say, and always check your blood group. So there are blood group related proteins that you can take. So example, as if you take O positive, that's whey protein obviously going to help. But if you take a negative one, sometimes you might have to take hydroprotein. So like that, you can do the research. This is freely available on the internet. You can find that.
It's just all out there. You can.
So before you do, before you purchase a product, always do your research.
Do your research. That's very true. That's exactly what we should do. All do. Yeah, I think we had a really good chat. I think you cleared like all the doubts, most of the doubts we all have in terms of supplements, like all our customers and whatnot. Because I do get a lot of inquiries, and I wanted to provide knowledge and give back to the community of Sri Lanka in terms of knowledge and about supplements. So yeah, I think we had a great conversation. We're really proud to have you on board with us, and good luck for your future endeavors. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. So I'm collaborating with Nutri-Max. So you guys can always reach up to me if you have any problem regarding products. So I'm proud to be a part of Nutri-Max.
Thank you.
All good.